Welcome in, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We're going to be doing the ASVAB military test. So if you know anybody struggling to join the military, that wants to join the military, but the math is giving them a headache, please share this live with them. Happy Tuesday, everyone. All right, so we're going to start with number 1. It says, find the value of 4 to the third times 3 to the second. All right, so number 1, you have to know about exponents. Hey, Elizabeth, welcome back, hon. Liz said it's C. All right, let's check it out. So we have 4 to the third, which means 4 times 4 times 4. And then 3 to the second means 3 times 3, okay? Well, 4 times 4 is 16, and then we times that by 4, and that's 64 times 3 times 3 is 9. So now we're going to do 64 times 9, okay? 9 times 4 is 36, and we can stop there because as soon as I see this 6, there's only one answer choice that ends in a 6. So I circle B and I move on. I save time. Welcome in, everyone. Can everybody double tap your screen for me? Can we get to 5K likes? Thank you, thank you. I see the likes coming in. Thank you, thank you. Any questions on number 1? Any questions on number 1? Remember, with the ASVAB, you cannot use a calculator. This is only on your brains. Thank you for the follow, Batman. Thank you for the share, you guys. Thank you for the double taps. All right, so let's do number 2. Hi, Blue. Number 2, A said D. Okay, for number 2. All right, I'm loving it. Does anybody else get anything else for number 2? Thank you, it's me, Kiki, for the rose. So it says, find the value of 2 times 3 to the squared. So first, we want to do what's inside the parentheses. Oh, we got B and we got D, okay? So 2 times 3 is 6. Then 6 squared. Remember, this means 6 times 6. Never 6 times 2. Never, ever. So 6 times 6 is 36. And D would be our answer. No worries. Good. I'm glad as long as you see it. Good. 36. Beautiful. What about number 3? Oh, thank you, Kiki. 7. Oh, so we got 7. Okay. 7. We're getting a lot of 7s. Okay. So when you're looking for the greatest common factor, you're looking for a smaller number that can go into both of these. Okay. So there's multiple ways on getting the greatest common factor. Let's do 20. I'm going to go what times what gives us 28. So 2 times 14 gives us 28. And then 2 times 7. Okay. So for 28, I'm listing out my prime factorization. It would be 2 times 2 times 7. Okay. 42. It would be 2 times 21. And then this will be 3 times 7. Okay. So for 42, it would be 2 times 3 times 7. Well, when you're looking for the greatest common factor, you're looking for what they have in common. And you see that they have a 2 and a 7 in common. Good. So I see the 14 coming in. So our GCF is actually 2 times 7, which is 14. Okay, good. I saw those 14s coming in. Yes. Good. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Oh, you're so welcome, Green. I'm going to double tap with you guys. Thank you. Can you do unit rates next? So I take this, like I write an actual mathematical knowledge test out. So if they have it on the test, then we'll do it. Hi, Anaya. Oh, I missed you too. Is this Anaya, my old student? So least common factor is the lowest number that can go into both number. The least common factor, the greatest common factor is it's the small, no, oh, okay, alrighty. So it's the number, the greatest common factor is the greatest but smallest number that can go into both of these. So it has to be the greatest. That's why 7 doesn't work, because this is a factor. Although it's a factor of 42 and 28, it's not the greatest factor. 14 is the greatest factor out of 42 and 28. Does that make sense? Hey, Alex. Can you do GCF factoring polynomials? If I have time, I can jump back on and do some factoring. Algebra 1, okay? All right, so, you wouldn't want me to do word knowledge. You'll be way, way worse than you are. Okay. You do not want me for word knowledge. Prime factor. So the prime factor, the number 48, and write the prime factorization using exponential notation. So first we have to understand what a prime is. Can you guys put some numbers in the chat? What are primes? Give me some examples of primes. So Liz said C. Liz, okay. I love it, Liz. 6, 19, 19, yes. 3. So a prime is a number times 1 times itself. Good. 2, 3 are all examples. Beautiful. So when we say we want prime factors, it's basically what we did on the other page with the GCF. Okay. So 10 doesn't work because 2 times 5 gets us 10. And when you have a prime, you only want 1 times that number in order to get you a prime. So like 2. Only 1 times 2 will ever get us 2. So that's why it's a prime. 3. Only 1 times 3 will ever get you 3. So that's why it's a prime. Great. So I'm glad that we cleared this up, okay? So I hope that makes sense. So these are prime numbers, okay? Great. So now that we know that, what times what gives us 48? We could say 6 times 8, okay? 6 is not a prime, so we have to go further. So what times what gives us 6? Well, 2 times 3. 2 and 3 are both primes. And then what times what gives us 8? 2 times 4. And then 4 is 2 times 2. And circle all your primes. So does everybody see what our answer is now? Is it A, B, C, or D? What are you guys getting? Okay, I see A, good. A, B, ooh. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, how many 2's do you have? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 2 to the 4th, and then we have 1, 3. So it's times 3, and that's why it is A. Beautiful, you guys. Thank you for the double taps. I see we're at 6.2K. Thank you so much. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for hanging with me on a Tuesday night. Oh, I get it. Good. I'm glad you get it. Could you have used 12 and 4? Yes, we could have. We could have used 12 and 4. Let's do that. So people that wanted to use 12 times 4, right? We would have ended up with 2 and 2, which is here. And then 12 would have gave us, we could have done 3 times 4 or 2 times 6, right? 3 times 4, which is a 3, and then 4 is 2 and 2. So any numbers, any multiples you use to get you 48 will always come back to these prime numbers. Great question. So where we get the 48 from? It says prime factor, the number 48. So it was from the question. That's where the 48 came from. Oh, Okay, so number 5, okay? Yep, Apple. We're going to go there. So evaluate 18 minus 3, parenthesis 5 minus 2. All right. Octavia says D. Okay, love it. Put your answers in. C. It's D. Okay. So first, whenever we have this, we have to do order of operations, okay? So we have to do 5 minus 2 first, because we have to do parentheses first. So we get 18 minus 3 times 5 minus 2 is 3. Oh, I see the C's. Yeah. Okay, so now 3 times 3, because we do multiplication before subtraction. So we would do 18 minus 9. And 18 minus 9, like you guys said, is 9. Beautiful. Good. All right. Let's do 6. So this is integers and how well you know integers, okay? So I'm going to let everybody try. Steph says C. Millie said this live has really humbled me. I love it. C. Oh, we're getting a lot of C's. Okay, so let's check it out. It says 8, positive 8 minus 2. So that's going to be 6. 6 minus a negative 7. Now, this is where the debate comes from, okay? A negative and a negative change to a positive. Yes. So 6 plus 7 gives us 13. And like you guys said, it was C. Beautiful. So this right here, double negatives, remember they change to a positive. Okay. Yep, you're so welcome. All right, let's go to the next. Now, the mathematical knowledge test, remember you have 24 minutes for 25 problems. Okay. So, if you don't know something, I suggest you skip it right away and come back if you have time, because you have literally like less than a minute for each problem, right? So 7, we have -1 to the 100th power, -2 to the 3rd. Yes, welcome back. Welcome. I don't know if we have any unit rates in this test, so we will just have to see what they have on this test. All right, so -1 to the 100th power. All right, so -1 to the 100th power. There's a rule that says an even will get you a positive. So this, because we would have to do -1 times -1 100 times. So you just have to know an even exponent is always going to come out a positive. So this would just be 1. And then this would be -2 times -2 times -2. Okay. So a negative times a negative is a positive. So 2 times 2 is 4. But then you still have to times that by a -2. So 1 times 4 is 4 times a -2. A positive times a negative is a negative. So by me knowing that, I know these are out. And then 4 times -2 is B. Good. This will actually help you with the HESI. Like HESI has fractions. It does have solving equations. It does have mixed numbers. So a lot of this is on the HESI test. But the difference is some people get to use a basic calculator for their HESI test, and some people don't. So it just depends on your test, I guess, where you're taking your test, which state you're in. But ASVAB, you never get to take a test. Okay. So number 8, I see an A coming in the chat. I see A. Thank you for the double taps. Can we get to 15K likes, please? Can everybody double tap your screen for me? Why does 100 exponent give you a positive, but not a positive 3 exponent? Because this is an odd. And so the rule says any odd exponent, you're going to end up with a negative number. Versus every even exponent, you end up with a positive. Because like if we have squared, right? Say if we had -1 to the squared, it's an even. Well, -1 times -1 gets us a negative times a negative is a positive. And so that's why they say any even exponent will always come out positive. But when you go to the odd numbers, it will never come out positive because you'll have like 2 positives here, but then you'll have that third negative to times it by the positive, which change it back to negative. I hope that makes sense for you. So if you can remember, odd integer, always negative. Odd exponent gets you a negative answer, okay? Even gets you a positive. Makes total sense. Thank you. Good, T. Good. All right, so number 8. So we have a positive 12 times. Remember, parentheses means times, okay? So this will be -48. Okay, I'm going to do this 2 ways, okay? I'm going to do this 2 ways. So if we just go straight to multiplying, I would never do it this way. I'm going to tell you I would never do it this way. Let me show you which way I would do it, okay? So I would do 12 times a -4 over a -2 times a -8. I'm going to start simplifying right away. So what does that mean? 4 divided by 2. Well, that's going to give me a positive 2. And then I'm going to ask myself, well, I can take half of 12. Half of 12 is 6, and half of 8 is 4. Then I'm going to say, oh, I still have some evens on top, right? So then I'm going to say, well, if I take half of 2, that's 1. And if I take half of 4, that is 2 as well. So I'm really ending up with -6 over 2, because a negative times a negative is a positive, and a positive times a negative is a negative. Well, -6 divided by 2 is A, -3. Yes, A. So because if we do it this way, you guys, if we just go straight to multiplying, let me show you. 2 times 8 is 16. I mean, if you're good at knowing your multiplication, right? If you know 16 times 16 3 times is 48, right, then you could see it right away. But a lot of people don't see that. And this is more work, right? If I'm doing, okay, I'm figuring out what's 12 times 4, that's taking time. 2 times 8. But if I start simplifying right away, it's less. I don't know. It just, to me, it looks like it's longer, but it saves time, if that makes sense. I don't know. Just get the right answer though, right? Whichever way gets you the right answer. All right, so let's do number 9. What do you guys say number 9 is? 9 is A, period. Okay, I heard that. 9 is D. Yeah, Jerry, you are correct, but you would be surprised. Okay, how many kids and how many adults don't, okay? D, A. Good. Okay, we're going back and forth between here and here. Okay, what we have to know is whenever you're subtracting fractions, you have to have the same common denominator. So what am I going to multiply this by in order to make it the same? Can somebody tell me? Good. Joven? Good. 3. Joven said 3. Perfect. Yes, the LCD, least common denominator. So it's 3 because we need this 3 to be a 9. So that's why we have to multiply 3 times 3 gets us 9. So 8 ninths minus 1 times 3 is 3 over 9. Remember, once you find the common denominator, the denominator stays the same. So by us knowing just that it had to be 9, that means B and D are out. So now we just subtract the tops, the numerators. 8 minus 3 is 5. And A is our answer. Good, Huey. I love it. Good. All right. We're doing good so far. Any questions on this one, you guys? Any questions? Don't ever be afraid to ask. Somebody could have the same question. Yeah, no worries. Get it wrong here. So if you're trying to take the test, make the mistakes now. When do you do both sides? So you do both sides if there were two different like prime numbers. So like if you had 8 over 7 minus 1/3. This is where you would have to do both sides because 3 and 7 don't have anything in common. So you would have to multiply this by 7 and then you would have to multiply this by 3. But here, 9 and 3 both had something in common. So that's why I use Mr. Green Math on YouTube. He's got a really good series. Nice, nice. What grade level are these type of questions? I would say they're middle school and high school. This is middle school and high school for the ASVAB. Yep. Because this is like 7th grade. 7th grade work. This is 8th grade. And then when they got some of the geometry parts, that's where it gets to 10th grade. There's, you start to get into 8th, 9th grade math. All right, so let's keep on going. Number 10. Wait, why didn't you use 7 on each side? Okay, Massa. So we don't use 7. I'm gonna just finish this up real quick so we can explain. We don't use 7 on both sides because the number that they both go into is 21. See, if I do 7 on both sides, this will be 49 and this will be 21. Remember, we're trying to come up with the same common denominator. So we both need these bottoms to be 21. So the only way we could do that is by doing 3 to this side and 7 to this side. Oh, got you. Thanks. Good. That was a great question. So let's finish it out, you guys, real quick. So 8 times 3 is 24. And then 7 times 1 is 7. So we would have 24 minus 7. What does that give us? 17? (17 over 21). All right. Beautiful. Okay. Now, these mixed numbers, right? It's like, oh, why? So, let's change them to impropers first, okay? So, how we change this to an improper fraction is we're going to take our denominator, we're going to times that by the whole, and then we add the numerator. And we put it all over what we divided by, okay? We're going to do the same thing here. Can you guys actually tell me what this one is? Good. So somebody said, Bassie said 17 over 4. Huey said 17 over 4. Beautiful. Okay, so 4 times 4 is 16 plus 1, 17 fourths. Good. And then Gigi said 3 times 3 plus 2. Good. Don't forget over 3. And Huey said 11 over 4. Thank you. Times 11 over 3. Oh, 11 over 3. 9. Yep. 11 over 3. Okay, perfect. All right. So now that we multiply, right? We multiply top to top, numerator to numerator, and denominator to denominator. We never need common denominators, you guys. We never need common denominators when we're multiplying or dividing fractions. You only need them when you're adding or subtracting, okay? So 4 times 3, 12. Okay, so right now I'm looking at my answer choices. I'm looking at this 50-50 chance. That's what I'm looking at so far. Now we have to do 17 times 11. Okay, so 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. Carry to 0. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. We're going to add this. 7. 7 plus 1 is, thank you. Red Chili said it's 187. Thank you, Red Chili. Okay, now the problem is, right, we have an improper here. They give us mixed numbers. So how we change this is we just divide it. 12 into 187. Well, we don't have to guess because we have answer choices. So we could say 1 because all these have 1s, okay? So we know this one's out. So 1 goes into 18 12 times. So 1 times 12 is 12. Then 18 minus 12 is 6. Bring down the 7, 67. Okay. And then, so 2 would only be as 24. So it has to be a 5. Okay. So 5. So we know this is out. So 5 times 12 is 60. We subtract here. We see the 7. As soon as we see the 7 as our remainder, we know it is C. Yes. Okay, somebody said they're lost. So are you lost on this long division part? 7 over 12. Is that where you were lost at on the long division? Yes? Okay. Yes. Okay. So what I was doing was, where did the 5 come from? See, the 5 came from my answer choice. Because I'm not guessing off the top of my head because they gave me answers here. So when I saw 2 15s, I knew this had to be a 5 here. Once I saw this 67, I said, well, 5 times 12 gets me 60. So that's where the 5. Can they use a calculator? No, they can't use a calculator on the ASVAB. It has to be all off the top of their head. So the remainder of 7 is your numerator. And what you're dividing by, 12, is the denominator? Yes. Yes. Somebody said you really love C, right? Because 11 and 12 also is C. No, this is the test. I'm telling you, I got this test online. And hey, that's what I always tell my students I was telling them, whenever they're guessing a problem, guess C, especially on the ACT. You know how you have 60 questions and 60 minutes to do it? If you don't know something, I mean, you absolutely, there's going to be stuff you just absolutely don't know. Don't waste time, circle C and move on. That's what I always tell my students. Every time you guessing, guess C. It's either B or C, one of them. Hey, Terry. So let's do number 11. So we have, okay, we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Remember, whenever we're dividing fractions, we have to change them to multiplication. But this 4/5 stays the same. We change this division to times, and then we're going to flip this 7/10 to 10 over 7. All right. So, oh, good, Davion. I passed the ASVAB, but I want a higher score so I can get a better job. Yes. Yes. Good. Wonderful. Yazine. Oh, R, what's your question? Yazine, for real, that's how it be like sometimes, though. It's like, how did I even make it this far? And the easiest stuff is knocking me out. Dividing fractions is the easiest thing. It's like a break from all the complicated stuff to me. I love it. All right, so what do we get here? What do we get here? I thought you only multiplied 4 times 4 and then added 1, but why did you divide by 4? Oh, whenever you're changing it to an improper, you take your denominator, you times it by the whole number, and you add the numerator. But it still has to go over what you divided by, which is 4. So that's why here we did 3 times 3 plus 2, but we still had to divide it over the 3 because it's called an improper fraction. Good. Terry said 5 goes into 10, and so we can cross simplify here. Beautiful. So 10 divided by 5 would give us 2, right? So then 4 and 7 doesn't. So now we can just multiply across. So 4 times 2 gives us 8, and 1 times 7 gets us 7. But they try to trick you here. Don't fall for it. It's 8 over 7. So we know we have to change to a mixed number, but let's look at our mixed numbers, right? This is out and this is out. If I see a 7 in the denominator, I'm going straight for C because it has to have a denominator of C. Yes. C, C, C. Yep. C again. It is C again. Somebody told us that it's C throughout this whole page, so we gonna see. So I can flip it. No, you can't flip it. You have to divide it. So you're gonna do 7 divided into 8. And then when you do that, you see 7 goes into 8 one time. So that's our whole number. And 1 times 7 is 7. And then you subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. This is your remainder. Remember, your remainder goes over what you divided by, 7. So that's why it's 1 and 1/7. We're dividing this because we need to change it back into a mixed number. See, right now it's an improper fraction, and they didn't give us an improper fraction answer. So that's why we're dividing this now, because we need to change this improper fraction to a mixed number. And how you do that is you divide it. Some of these are problems that been seen on the ASVAB. Yep. Find the value of -3 plus 4b if a equals -2 and b equals -3. Do you always have to cross multiply, and when do you multiply next to the another number? No, we didn't cross multiply here. We cross simplified. So we divided here. You multiply straight across when you're multiplying fractions. Let me think about what your question is asking me. Let's go to 12 and then let me process what your question was asking. Find the value of -3a plus 4b if a equals -2 and b equals -3. So what this is saying is a is -2, so I'm going to plug that in there. And my b is -3, and I'm going to plug that in for b. So we can write this as -3. Remember, whenever you have a number attached to a letter, they're multiplied together. That's why I'm going to put parenthesis, -2 plus 4 multiplied together to another parenthesis times -3. All right, so, I see D, C, C, C. Okay. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. 4 times a -3 is -12. This is where our integers come in. You have $6. You went to the store and you spent $12. That bank account is going to show -6 before the overdraft fee hit, right? It's going to be much higher than this. But yes, it is -6. If you know, you know, okay? I used to do that. I used to tear up my bank account when I was in my younger age, my teenage years. Ooh. I'd be like, what is this? Using up all my paycheck. Thank you, Diamond, so much for the rose. Yes. Out of you says so important. So important to do well on this exam. Make sure you work on what you don't know, because you really want to get the job that you want to get. So let's go back to that question. It was a question I think you were asking, when do we multiply? Okay. I think that's a great question. So how do we know if we're multiplying times 3/4 for 3/4? So how do we know if we're multiplying numerator with numerator versus how do we know when we cross multiply? Okay. That's a great question. Let me show you. It's a simple thing here. We cross multiply when there's an equal sign. When there's an equal sign, let's make this an X, okay? When there's an equal sign, that's when you can cross multiply. Here, we cannot cross multiply because this is times. So this is when you do numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. You can cross multiply when you have an equation, when it's equal. So I hope that makes sense. Hey, Dale. Hey, Koya. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you for the follow, MSR. What about dividing sign? No, because when you have the dividing sign, you're really changing it to multiplication. So when you're multiplying, you always have to do numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. Thank you, Out of You, for the roses. Koya, I don't know if I was gonna try to jump back on later, like when my baby goes to sleep, and I wanted to teach. I got some lessons to get done for my YouTube page. But I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna teach yet. 13, x over 4 equals -9. What do you guys get for 13? Red Chili said 13 is A. Good, Red Chili. I love it. Thank you, Massa, for the follow. Oh, thank you, veteran. You did 10 years in the military. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for serving, keeping us safe, sacrificing. Good. So how we would do this, either you could just plug in your answers and see which one gives you -9, or you would have to know the opposite of division is times. So we would multiply both sides by 4. This cancels. And then you get x equals -36. So A would be our answer. Can I do logs? Yeah. Are you guys like doing simplifying logs or solving logs? Heart, which one are you guys doing? Are you guys solving logs, or are you guys like just doing the fun stuff where you're condensing them, expanding them? 14. Both? Okay. Most definitely. I'll put that onto the to-do list to do tomorrow. Okay? Because I know a lot of people have been asking me for logs. C. All right. So I'll get a lot of C's. Okay. So we're always whenever you have a number next to parentheses, we're going to distribute. Okay. And distribute means we're just going to multiply. So 2 times A is 2A. 2 times -3 gets us -6. All right. Tell me, what do we do next, chat? Put it in the chat. What's our next move? What can we do next? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for sharing the live. Combine like terms. How? How do I combine -6? Yes. Oh, -6? Okay. Divide. Hi, Ethan. How's your calculus going? I hope it's going good. Combine like terms, add the 3a to the 2a. Boom, that's what I was looking for. Good. So we're going to add 3a. I also saw the add 6, which was right. So 2a plus 3a gives us 5a minus 6 equals 14. Now, the problem is we can't subtract 6 to both sides. We cannot because it's already subtracting. So we have to do the opposite by adding 6 to both sides. Yes. It does not matter. You have to decide what side you want your letter on, and then that forces everything else to happen. Calc is going okay. Doing graphing, which using the first derivative test, I think it's called. Doing graphing with using the first derivative test. I'm trying to think. Graphing with the first derivative test. I remember finding limits with graphing, but I don't remember doing that. Okay, so then we're going to divide by 5 to both sides. A equals 20 divided by 5 is 4. You should email me some of your tests. And so we get C. C is our answer. You should email me. Impact Math, if you don't mind sharing, because I do want to start practicing my calculus. Impact Math 19. If you're looking for a tutor, you guys, for the ASVAB, I do also tutor for the ASVAB. I've helped a lot of people get the score up, pass, that couldn't pass. Can everybody double tap their screen? Can we get to 20K likes, please? So email me at impactmath19@gmail.com if you're looking for tutoring. Yeah, at Gmail. Sorry. I forgot the Gmail part. Do you tutor CBP tests? I never even heard of that test. I got to look that up. CBP test. I'll look it up, okay? Because I never heard of it. Do you know if business algebra is different than regular algebra? I do not know, but I'm assuming if you're doing business algebra, it should be more focused on real world application of algebra. So like you'll be doing a lot of exponential growth, appreciation, of cars, house value, different things like that. If it's business algebra. The bus admin tutor. Hi, I teach and share business related content. Great job. Knowledge is power. Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's do number 15, you guys. A piece of wood that is 27 inches long is cut into 2 pieces. Okay. Such that one piece is twice as long as the other. Find the length of the shorter piece. Okay, so we have this wood. It's cut into 2 pieces. The thing, though, about the cut is one piece is twice as long. So 2x, and then this short piece, let's say, is just x, because we don't know. But we know this is double the length of this. And then we want to find the length of the shorter piece. So a piece of wood that is 27 inches long is cut into 2 pieces. Hey, D, are you going live for the ASVAB tomorrow too? No, not tomorrow. I'll be doing some other type of math. Johnson, bro, I don't know what I do without you. You carry me in math. Oh, thank you, John. Thank you. So I think we're going to do 2x plus x equals 27. Okay. 2x plus x equals 27. So 2x plus 1x gives us 3x equals to 27. And then how do we get x by itself? Well, we would divide both sides by 3. And so x would equal 9. So our short piece would be 9 inches, and our other piece would have to be 18 inches. So either way they ask you, they could ask you this two different ways, right? They could ask you for the shorter piece or they could ask you for the longer piece. So does that make sense, you guys? Destiny says, so simple, yet these questions beat me up in school all the time. Right? Thank you, Diamond, for the rose. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Diamond. These used to tear me up too, because I'm trying to process what they're saying, and then they're adding all these extra words that mean nothing to me, and it's like, what? And then twice as long. It's like, wait, what? Yep. All right, so let's go to some more word problems, right? Then we're going to get into some multiplying, factoring. Then they have a little bit of this a little bit of algebra too, a little bit. And then they have some geometry ones. And then we're done. We're going to be done we have 25. Okay. So, if the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 57, find the smallest of the integers. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. You have to know what consecutive integer is. Can somebody put it in the chat what consecutive integer is? Thank you, Diamond, so much for the heart puff. Thank you. Thank you. Carter, I lost you. Well, hopefully I get you back with this one, okay? Somebody said I'm already lost too. So Carter, you're not alone, okay? Does anybody know what consecutive integers is? That's the first part you got to understand. So Ethan said integers that are in order, 5, 6, 7. Thank you. Yes. 18, 19, 20. I love it. Consecutive, 12, 13, 14. Yes. This is what that means. So we're looking for numbers that follow each other. Okay. So I don't know my first integer. Nope. Don't know it. So I'm putting X. My second integer, well, I know it has to be X plus 1 because I'm going to add 1 to whatever number. So if I said this was 5, in order for me to get 6, I have to add 1 to that. Well, my third integer is going to be X plus 2. Is means equal 57. You guys, this is a formula that I would just say memorize. When it just says consecutive integers, X plus 1, X plus 2. Which is different if they say even or odd. It's a little bit switch up, okay? Now, we can just combine like terms. Okay. Is the domain of polynomials all real numbers? Is the domain of polynomials all real numbers? It's the domain. I would say no. It depends on what you're given, right? It depends on what you're given. Because if you're given, this is a polynomial, but it's on its side. So this wouldn't be all real numbers. It would be whatever this number is to infinity. But if it's like this, yes. So it just depends. So 1x plus 1x plus 1x is 3x's, plus 2 plus 3 is 3 equals 57. Does that make sense, Ethan? What is a polynomial? This is a polynomial, actually. A polynomial is when you have letters and numbers that you're adding together. Thank you, Diamond. Okay, thanks. I was stuck on my homework. Yep. Oh, thank you, out of you. The answer is 18. Carter said the answer is 18. Well, let's see, Carter. How do I get this 3? Good. So Jamal said minus 3. Good. We're going to minus 3 because it's a plus 3. Perfect. And we get 3x equals 57 minus 3 is what? 54? And then if we divide both sides by 3, let's see, 3 into 54, we get 1. So 1 times 3. And then we get 24. Yep, that's 8. 18. Beautiful. And we know it's 8. Wait. We know this is 18 because it said find the smallest integer. So this was our smallest integer because we said this one, x, was the smallest. Then the next one would be, because what if they said, instead of finding the smallest, what if they said find the middle integer? Can you guys put it in the chat? What would be the middle integer? Ethan, you just be lucky that you even get to use a calculator, okay? Because I couldn't even use a calculator when I was doing calculus. 19. Good, you guys. Yes. And then if they said the largest integer, it would be 20. So there's 3 different ways they could have asked this problem. They could have said the smallest, the middle, or the largest. So beautiful, you guys. Good. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you. We're at 21.6K likes. I appreciate it. Thank you. Can we get to 25K likes? I'm going to double tap with you guys. Okay, so if a number is added to twice the same number and the result is equal to 8 less than 5 times the number, what is the number? Okay. Ooh. Okay. So if a number, I don't know what that number is. So when you don't know something, you put an X. Okay. So a number is added, I'm putting plus. Twice the same number, 2x. It's twice the same number. So that means 2x. And the result is, so that means is equal to 8 less than 5 times the number. Can you guys tell me how to write this out? 8 less than 5 times the number. Can I see it in the chat? Oh, my last answer is wrong. Why is it wrong? Let me see. Did I mess up? 54. I got 3. 3 divided by 3, that's 18, isn't it? 8 times 3 is 24. 5x minus 8. 5x minus 8. Perfect. Yes. 5x minus 8. Beautiful. Tell me why do you think it's wrong? The smallest of 3 consecutive. The smallest of 3 consecutive. Yes. So the smallest of the integers, right? It's the smallest of the integers. So we got x equals 18. We found what x was. So this was 18. The second one will be 19. And the third one would be 20. So this is the smallest, okay? Do you use an exponent to write 8 less than 5 times? No, we don't use an exponent. It's 8 less than. So whenever you see this less than, you have to switch the order. That's why it's minus 8 and then 5 times the number. Remember, the number was x. So that's why it's 5 times x. No worries. Oh, sorry, that's confusing. No worries. It is very confusing. All this language is very. No worries, JS. No worries. So now let's combine some like terms, you guys. Let's combine them, okay? So 1x plus 2x gives us 3x equals 5x minus 8. What do we do next? Yeah, Alex said the wording is confusing. Yes, it is. JS, thank you for the rose. Minus 5x. Beautiful. Oh, be careful, because if we add 5x, this will get us 10x on this side. So since it's a positive, we have to do the opposite of positive, and we have to subtract 5x. Okay? So 3 minus 5 gets us negative 2x equals to a negative 8. Last step. What's our last step? What do we do next? Oh, I thought it was divide. Yes, now we divide. Whenever we have one x to the by itself, then we can divide. Perfect. And we're going to divide because whenever you have a number attached to a letter, they're multiplied. To undo that, we have to divide. So we get x equals 4. And A is our answer. Good. Thank you for the TikTok, Diamond. Thank you for the lightning bolt, Diamond. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to all my double tappers, for the people that have just been on here, commenting, watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the follows. All right, now we're going to get into our algebra bag, right? This is where you kind of need algebra 1. So we're going to multiply. But I'm going to show you how you're going to multiply this, okay? So 3x minus 7, 4x plus 12. Plus 2. All right. So all of these have 12x, right? All of these have 14, but we have some positive 14s and some negative 14s. Well, how we check this last term is we do negative 7 times 2. Well, a negative 7 times 2 gets us a negative 14. So we know C and D is out. Thank you, Out of You, for the roses. Okay. Now, so really, we just need to check our middle term. And how you check your middle term is you check it by doing your outer, then your inner. So negative 7 times 4, so we're going to multiply these two. Negative 7 times 4 is negative 28x. And then 3x times 2x gives us a positive 6x. Well, once we add these, negative 28 plus 6 gets us negative 21x. So we know the middle has to be negative, so B is our answer. Okay, so that is the strategy. Okay, that's the strategy. We could do the box method. We could do the FOIL method. We could do all those methods, but we don't want to waste time because, again, we have 24 minutes for 25 questions. So once you know that these are all the same, you see that the only thing that's different is plus and minus. Well, you multiply this, a negative and a negative, that gives us 50-50 chance. And then you do your outer and inner to check your middle. Yes. Okay, let's do... Hi, Jazzy. Hey, Jazzy. Welcome back. I hope everything's been good with you. All right, so a lot of people, some people are confused. So I'll do the box method, okay? I'm going to scoot it over just a little bit. Let's do the box method. Because, if you don't see it that way, you got to do it to where you see it, right? Where it makes sense. Okay, so we would put 3x and then negative 7 here. And we could put 4x and a positive 2. Now, the box method is basically what you're doing. Thank you for the heart me, Sabrina. Thank you. You have state testing soon? Are you taking the what state testing are you taking? Hey, Omar. Thank you so much, Omar, for the rose. This is like the old school multiplication table, you guys. If you ever had it in like elementary, this is what we're kind of doing here. So we say 3x times 4x gives us 12x squared. ACT. Okay. I know I've been meaning to do the ACT. When do you take the ACT, Malia? 3x times 2 gives us 6x. Okay. 4x times negative 7 gets us negative 28x. And then 2 times negative 7 gets us negative 14. Okay. Now we take our inner 4 boxes and we write them out. So we're going to start with 12x squared plus 6x minus 28x minus 14. Well, we have like terms in the middle, so we can combine these. Okay. So, oh, can you guys see it? Can you guys see it? Or am I off? So 6x minus 28x, 12x squared, gives us negative 21x minus 14. And that's why B is our answer. Okay. All right. Can you guys see it? Sorry. Can you guys see this part? This is what I was showing you. I take the ACT Friday. Oh, man. Okay, Friday. Okay. Ooh. Somebody said I'm still confused, but that's okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Let's do number 19. Remember, again, you cannot use calculators on this test. This is the ASVAB. They do not allow calculators. Okay. Oh, is it negative 22? Did I do something? 28, 6. Oh, you're right. Negative 28 plus 6. That is 22, huh? Oh my goodness. It's 22. Thank you. And you guys, you know what? I probably was supposed to write 22 here. And then when I was writing this test, I was doing too many things. So this probably is supposed to be 22, you guys. Both of these were probably supposed to be 22 when I was writing them. Or the test could have been jacked up. It could have made a mistake and not me. But yes, that is 22. Okay. All your answer choices are wrong, laughing out loud. Yes, yes, yes. So either I made a mistake or the book makes a mistake. You know, you be buying these test books and they be making mistakes too. Oh, that's where I was confused. That's where you guys were confused. Oh, thank you for putting that. It is 22. Thank you. Okay, I thought I was losing it, laughing out loud. Nope. It's me. So thank you guys for pointing that out. Good. All right, good. We all on the same page now. So perfect. Good. Let's go to 19. Thank you guys for following through, checking me, rechecking. Beautiful. That's what math is all about, right? So factor 6x to the 4th, y to the 3rd, minus 3x to the 3rd, y to the 5th. All right, so whenever we have to factor a binomial, you're looking for the GCF, greatest common factor. So we're first going to look for the GCF with the 6 and the 3. Well, the 6 and the 3, the greatest common factor will just be a 3. And then x to the 4th or x to the 3rd, you take x to the 3rd because that's how many you can pull out of 4 and 3. And then y to the 3rd and y to the 5th, we can pull out y to the 3rd. So how I like to say this, you always pull out the least amount of exponent, if that makes sense. Like I can't pull out 4 here because there's not enough over here to pull out 4. There's only 3. So that's why we pull out 3, and that's why we pull out 3 here. And then out of the numbers, it's 3. So by us just knowing the GCF, you're able to see your answer. Oh. You guys, it's having me, It's having me, refresh. Sorry, it was having me refresh. I guess I've been on for a long time. Okay, so let me get it centered back. So when you're looking for the greatest common factor, you're saying what number can go into both of these? Well, 3 can go into 6 and 3 can go into 3, okay? And by us just knowing the GCF, we know A is our answer. Another way that you can do this, you guys, is literally take your answer and multiply it back in, distribute it back in, and you should get the original answer. So if we do that, like let's do it over here, okay? 2x minus y squared. Let's say you say, oh, this can't be the answer. Well, let's just double check it, right? Let's multiply it. 3 times 2 gets us 6. X to the third times x. We have 3 here. We have 1 more. So that gives us x to the fourth. And we have that y to the third. Minus 3 times 1, because there's always an imaginary 1 there, is 3. We have x to the third. And then we have y to the third times y to the second. Remember, you add your exponents when you multiply variables. So 3 plus 2 gets us y to the fifth. This came out the same as this. That's why also we know it works. Good. I'm glad you're trying. I'm glad you're trying. Yep, you're so welcome. All right, so let's look at number 20. Okay, so this is a binomial factoring. Okay, JJ, what I use is the ASVAB for Dummies book, and I also use the Kaplan. Those are the 2 books I have for the ASVAB. Oh, thank you, Bartels. Thank you, nurse, for the heart puff. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's go to number 20, okay? Okay, so there's a rule that says if this is negative, our signs, you guys, we have to have a positive and a negative. And they all have positive and negatives. Okay, so that's not going to really help us, right? Then we say, what times what gets us x squared? Well, x times x, and they all have x times x, okay? And then we ask ourselves, what times what gets us 35? Okay. So if we look at our answer choices, it's 1 times 35 and 7 times 5. When you're asking yourself this question right here, you guys, you're asking yourself which pair can give you a 2. Yep. JJ, the books, I'll tell you right after this, JJ. Yes, I'll repeat it after this. Which pair can give you a 2? Well, 1 and 35 are way too far to get us a 2. And somebody said 7 times 5. Beautiful. Okay, so we know since it's going to be a 7 and a 5, B and C are out. We just gave ourselves a 50-50 chance. Okay. So now we need a negative 2. So if we add these, which number has to be the negative? Good, Ra said negative 7. Negative 7 plus 5. So if we have a negative 7 plus 5, it's going to give us a negative 2. So the 7 has to go here, and the 5 has to be the positive. So we're looking for the 5 to be a positive, which is here, and the 7 to be a negative. So D is our answer. You guys can't see? Maybe you guys have to swipe left to close your comments. Oh, I don't know. Swipe left. Oh, thank you for the shares, you guys. Thank you for the double taps. We're at 28.3K likes. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let me scoot it up. Can you guys see it? Oh, there. It's like zoomed in too much. Can't see the whole. For number 20, it's like you're close to the paper. Oh, let me go up. Thank you, Ashley, for the let me go up a little bit. Let me go up, you guys. Hold on just a second. I'm bringing my ring light up a little bit. Okay. Oop. Thank you, Ashley, for the necklace. Thank you, thank you. Is that better, you guys? Much better? Okay, perfect. Good, good, good. Yeah, I do have a YouTube, and I post all my lives on my YouTube page at Impact Math 19 on YouTube. Okay, so all my lives I post over there. I also do mini lessons that are like, so I have a mini lesson on just multiplying binomials for the ASVAB. I have factoring just for the ASVAB. Like if you're like struggling with just the factoring part, I have mini lessons just on factoring for the ASVAB. So follow me over there, you guys, on YouTube at Impact Math 19. All right. Okay. Whoo, these problems are getting intense. Okay. Intense. Okay. So before you can even do this, you have to understand a little bit about fractions. Okay, remember when we did this problem here, right? When we did this, we had to do the keep, change, flip. So we kept this side the same and we flipped this. We said it was 1/2 times, we changed the division to times, and we did 4/3. That is the same rule that applies here. It's the same rule. So we're going to keep this the same. X over 3x plus 15. We're going to change this to times. And we're going to flip this. Okay. So we're going to write this as x squared minus 25 over x squared. Thank you so much for the double taps, you guys. I really appreciate it. I see those hearts coming in. Thank you. We're almost there at 30K. We're at 29.4K likes. Thank you. Okay, now we have to factor. Does anybody know how to factor this? Can you guys put it in the chat if you know how to factor this one? So we have x over, what can we factor out of 3x plus 15? What do they both share? Pull out a 3. Good, Jazzy. Yes. So if we pull out a 3, 3, I see those 3s coming in, you guys. Beautiful. Then we're going to pull it out. And we're going to say 3 times what gives us 3x? Well, we're missing an x. And then 3 times what gives us 15? Well, plus 5. Okay. So we factored this. Now, does anybody know what this factoring is called? This is a special type of factoring. You learn it in Algebra 1. Does anybody know what this factoring is called? Thank you, you guys. We have made it to 30.9K likes, 31. I appreciate it. Thank you. Perfect square. Cameron, difference of squares. Let's go. Yes, this is a difference of squares. And by you knowing that it's a difference of squares, you know that your signs has to be plus and minus. Plus and minus is 1. And then you have to say, what times what gets us x squared? Well, x times x. And then what times what gets us 25? Remember, you're looking for a number times itself. 5 times 5. Now, this is always the fun part. Okay, we did all that hard work, and now we can start cross-simplifying. So, x plus 5 is on the bottom and top, so we can cancel that out. Okay. Now, we have an x over x squared. Okay. Remember, this can cross out, and we can have 1x left. Okay. So now, all we have on the top is an x minus 5. And as soon as I see that, I don't even need to finish the bottom. There's only one that has x minus 5 on the top, and it has to be D. Now we can finish the bottom, but don't waste your time on the test, okay? 3 times x gets us 3x. And yes, it is D. Beautiful. Any questions? Any questions on that one? You know, Koya, I haven't really done any SAT because my state is an ACT test state, and I don't really get asked a lot for the SAT. Is your state SAT? What am I going to see this in? You do ACT prep? I'm going to start because a lot of people are starting to take it. Yeah? Okay. So let's look at number 22, you guys. In the diagram below, x equals, okay, we have A, 50, B, C, or D. The ASVAB test is for if you're trying to join the military, and that's what the ASVAB test is. And so you take this, and then you can get a job in the military. And it depends on your score, what type of job offerings you have. So the higher you score, the better testing. B, 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 B. Okay, I see B a lot. Good. Koya said vertical angles. Beautiful. So right here, if this is 70, this has to be 70. We also need to know that all triangles add up to 180. So we can do 180 minus 70 minus 50. And that will give us our answer. So 180 minus 70 is 110. And then if we minus that from 50, we'll get 60 degrees, like you guys said. And B is our answer. Beautiful. Good. All right. Okay. Of course, they want to give us more word problems towards the end, right? It's like, where's the beginning stuff? All right. So number 23. An airplane flies 50 miles due north. Okay. So we have an airplane flying miles due north. Okay. So north, it went north for 50 miles. Then turns and flies 120 miles east. Okay. So this is east for 120 miles. How far has the plane flown from its starting point? So it's asking us for this side. Good. Cameron said Pythagorean theorem. Can you go back to the previous page? Yes. Yes, I can. Did you want to take a screenshot? Remember, I post these on my YouTube channel at Impact Math. So if you follow me over there, 19, this will be posted, okay? JJ, did you get it? Okay. Okay, so, yes, Cameron said yep, you're so welcome, JJ. This is the Pythagorean theorem. Right here is a right angle. So we would have to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This side, this is called the hypotenuse, is always your c. So this would be x squared, and then this would be a, and this would be b, okay? So we'd have to do 50 squared plus 120 squared. Okay. So, if this was my test, even though I can do this one, remember, you don't get the calculator. So I would skip this. I would come back to it, and I would try to go to some easier problems to make sure I get most of my problems done, and then come back to this, because this is a time. This takes time, right? So I'm trying to think about the best way that I would do this. Okay, so 50 times 50. 50 times 50, okay? Well, 5 times 5 is 25, and then you add the 2 zeros. Okay, 120 times 120. Well, 12 times 12 is 144, and then you add the 2 zeros. Okay, equals x squared. So then I would add these two. So I'll do 144, 0, plus the 2500. So I get 009. 4 plus 2 is 6, 1. So I would get 16900. Now, this is why they tell you to memorize your perfect squares. Good. Somebody said square root. Does anybody know the square root of 169? Good. 130 miles. 13. Yes. So the square root of 169 is 13. And then you add one of the zeros because that's 100 and that's 10. So yes. So this would be 130. Because the square root of 169 is 13. And then that leaves 100. The square root of 100 is 10. So that's why it's 13 times 10. Wait, 130. Yes. Yep, 130. Let's say you didn't know this, right? You could take your answers and multiply them to each other. So I could have done 70 times 70 and see if that gave me 169. But 7 times 7 is 49 and then add the 2 zeros. So that's too small. And then 13 times 13 is 169. That's another way you could have used your answer to help you if you don't know this square root. Okay. So 24, what is the slope of the line that goes through the points of this? Well, in order for you to know your slope formula, you would have to do m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You would say 4 minus, my y1 is a negative 2, over negative 4 minus 8. Okay. Somebody says C. Ooh, okay. Keep it scrolling. Okay, let's see. Keep it scrolling. A negative and a negative gives us a positive. So 4 plus 2 is 6. And then negative 4 minus 8 gives us a negative 12. Cameron said negative 1/2. Good, because a positive divided by a negative is a negative. And then if we divide this by 6 and divide this by 6, we end up with 1 over negative 2. And B is our answer. Yeah, see, keep it scrolling, says C. Oh, said B. Yes. So don't forget this negative. It'll throw you off. Yep. Oops. No worries. No worries. Good. We're all learning. We make the mistakes. You see, I made a mistake. It's saying 28 minus 6 is 21. So it happens. All right. Woo! We made it to 25, you guys. We made it. Okay, so in the figure below, the circle fits exactly the inside of a square. If the circumference of the circle is 10 pi, what is the area of the square? Okay, so this is an important word. Does anybody know the circumference formula? Ooh. So I see A is the answer, 5. Okay. That was quick. C equals 2 pi r. Good, yes, 2 pi r. Or we could say C equals pi times D, which this would be the better one because we need remember the diameter is the total distance, which we need to find up here, right? So if we use this one, we would do 10 pi equals pi times D. Well, I need my diameter, so I'm just going to divide both sides by pi. this cancels, and I get D equals 10. Well, since I know that my diameter is 10, this side has to be 10. What is the area of the square? I'm trying to think, did I do that right? Because if I say this is 10, then I need to say this is 10, right? And then we would get 100, not 20, 25, 5. So where did I go wrong here? Do, 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 do. So if I divide that by pi, it's just 10. What is the area of the square? Let's use this one. Let me see what I'm doing wrong. 10 pi equals 2 pi r. So if I divide this by 2 pi, divide this by 2 pi, then the radius would be 10 divided by 2 is 5. But the radius is half here, so this would be 5. But then if we need the whole side, then wouldn't we have to do 5 plus 5? And that would give us 10? I don't see it. Maybe it meant a quarter of the square. It had to mean something else. What is the area of the square? Fits exactly inside the square. If the circumference is 10 pi r, what is the area of the square? I don't know, you guys. The perimeter of the square would be 40, right? Yes. Keep it scrolling. If this is 10, this is 10. If we add up the perimeter, we would do 10 plus 10 times 4 or 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. And if we're doing area, we would have to do 10 times 10. So I don't know if I wrote this wrong, you guys. Area would equal 100. I don't know if I wrote it wrong or what, but yeah. All right, you guys. And on that note, we're going to call it a night, okay? So thank you for joining me. I have to look this one up and see if I wrote it right. But have a wonderful night, you guys. And I most definitely will catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.